Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about those tough decisions us parents have to make about going back to school.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about some of those tough decisions us parents have to make about sending our kids back to school. And for those new parents, those parents who have those 4 and 5 year olds that are going into the school system for the very first time, which is a very it's a big change, right? I don't want to say it's a challenge, but it's a challenge emotionally to parents to pick the right school, to hope that they have the right teachers, to hope that they have all this. But now with the added uncertainty of what does school day look like during COVID-19, as the numbers are spiking around the country right now. So where I live, about 3 weeks ago, they announced that we have an opportunity as parents. They gave us 3 models. They said, look, we're either going to go back to school full time, like normal, or we are going to do some type of hybrid, which was like some kids go to school either Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday, which seemed interesting. And I think Friday was going to be like a virtual day. I don't know what the exact, and that's where I think a lot of parents thought that the school board was going to lean towards. And then I guess the other option would be to go full virtual if we couldn't attend school. And then they hit us with a curveball. They told us that school would resume the regularly scheduled time. And parents, you have 2 weeks to decide if you want your kid to go back full time or no hybrid, or do you want them to go to virtual? And it's your choice. And listen, I don't know jack about parenting. I definitely don't know jack about decisions made at the school board level. I definitely don't know jack about the right decision in this particular instance. And depending on who you are as a parent, there are parents out there, and I will say this up front, as difficult as this has been on every home in this country with grade school age children, I believe my wife and I being blessed, me being able to work from home, my wife having the ability to work from home, being in a loving, nurturing, stable household, this has been a challenge. I cannot empathize and sympathize enough with the single parent out there that is the main breadwinner who has to go somewhere as an essential worker. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I have a hard enough time on a daily basis trying to figure out my own schedule with my wife's schedule, and managing an 8-year-old along with a 2-year-old at home, and having all of the comfortable luxuries that one could imagine, right? I'm not saying we're wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but we're not challenged where I know a lot of other people may be challenged, financially. And I'll just, segue into this just for a second. And I think it's a great program, and I don't know what the situation is, but I even see in my county, like, they're feeding students Monday through Thursday, and you can go pick up a meal, and I think they actually will give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner meal pack that day if you were to go pick up. But then my thought is, the 5 or 6 or 7-year-old that the parent's off working, how do they even get that? Like, are they capable? Even though there's programs out there assisting people, how do some people who really need it even get it? But that's neither here nor there. I just know there's a lot of challenges out there. And so to add to that challenge, what about that parent that I described, that single mom, that single dad, who have kids at home and really need to send them to school? And they feel, and this is just something I read, this is not how I feel, these are not my words, but how do they feel about being the guinea pig for the process of, hey, this is how we're going to implement our safety strategies at school, when it's really a necessity in your household that your kids go back to school? Then those parents who, out of necessity, maybe are working from home and need to actually focus on their job. Again, my wife and I take shifts day in and day out. Like, hey, I have calls at this time and I have clients at this time, and she's like, well, I got a mandatory meeting at this time. At this time, I'm just listening in on a meeting, so I will, I can watch the little one, although I'll be distracted. It's just crazy. So for us, a big part of us wants him to go back just for our own sanity within the household as parents. But these are just wants and desires, not even needs. So what do you do as a parent? Then if you read enough doctors, there's psychiatrists now saying the mental health of our children, of being socially, how do I even put this? Like, I don't want to say inept, that's not the word, but they're not getting the social, for those outgoing kids who need hugs and loving and need to talk to people, they're not getting that right now. Even for those introverts, they're probably like, this is pretty cool, but like, where are other people? They need that social interaction so that they could grow socially. In a day and age, in my opinion, and I'll say this, in a day and age where the internet and hiding behind a computer and bullying on social medias, like, what is this doing for our kids that they don't even have to interact with people when they're even choosing not to, when they have their own free time anyway? So I think there's a lot to be said for our kids going back for the social interaction that they've been missing out on for 4 months going on 5 months. Then what are the cons to going back? Teaching from home. Many of us, all of us, experienced that for a couple of months at the end of the school year, and I don't want to say none of us. I'll say it this way: none of us are qualified teachers, and those who are qualified teachers weren't busy teaching their own kids. They were busy teaching our kids because they were teaching socially, social distancing, virtual learning. Like, what is the right decision? Because I honestly want to leave the teaching of lesson plans to the teachers and the experts in that area. I will teach other things to my children that I am good at and that I think are important to their development in life. But arithmetic and Spanish and history and all those things that they're teaching, I went through elementary school. And for those who are listening who may have older kids, you went through middle school and high school. Why do I want to relive those years? Honestly, I enjoy being an adult. I know a lot of people wish, I wish I could be a kid again. No, I enjoy being an adult. I enjoy being a child. I enjoy being a teenager. I enjoy being a young adult. Now that I have children, I enjoy being a responsible adult. That's just the way I see it. I choose to be happy where I am. I don't wish to be somewhere other than where I am, and I am happy where I am. So And I'm happy in my profession empowering people to be better versions of themselves. And I'll impact my kids that way. But I don't want to teach them curriculum that I am, not that I couldn't teach it, but that I have to learn to effectively teach them when I have a lot of other things on my plate. So what did I do? What did we do as a couple? We got on with other parents and we started brainstorming. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? And everybody feels a certain way. But there's those one-liners, there's those little twists that you go, aha, didn't think of it that way. And getting perspective from many other parents. We have a group of 5 of us that we have gotten together and talked and individually we've gone out and spoken to other people and come back to our little mastermind. And I believe that, we kind of have a solid plan. I don't want to share my plan with you because I want you to figure out what's right for you, and not sway one way or the other. But it's just a difficult decision for any parent to make. And maybe, when I listen back to this a year from now, I'll be like, what a dumb decision that was. But I'm going to make the best decision. Let me rephrase that. My wife and I are going to make the best decision that we can make based on the information that we have. And I hope that when I look back on this, I go, man, that was great. That was the best decision we could have made with the information we had at the time. And I'm glad that we made it. But I'm also glad that we collaborated with other parents. See, I don't know jack about parenting. And I believe that the people that I collaborated with don't know jack either. And that's exactly why we connected with each other and said, listen, we shouldn't have to make these big decisions on our own. And because the county has said to us that we need to make a decision, which I ultimately respect, because they can't please everybody. So if they said everybody goes back, there would have been those people living in fear of, oh my gosh, what do we do? I can't believe they're making me send my kid back. And then those who, if they said 100% everybody goes virtual and everyone says, oh, we can't continue to do this. Why can't you let us send our kids back? So what they're doing, to me, makes a lot of sense. We're putting the choice on the parents, and we need to make the tough decisions for our own household, for our own children. And I actually commend them. But in a world where people are always told what to do, whether school tells you what to do or your boss at work tells you what to do, having to make a decision like this, actually, it puts people in a predicament that they're not necessarily used to being in. And that in and of itself is like, I've heard, how could they put this decision on us? It's your household, it's your kids. You should be glad that they're giving you choice so that you can make the best choice for you and your family. So what to do about school? I don't know. I don't know what your county, your city, your state, your specific school, how it's run, how comfortable you are with the administration, how comfortable you are with their processes, how comfortable you are with their ability to implement strategy, right? And I know as we're preparing the school and I'm helping, being on the PTA board, and we already, 5 weeks before school starts, already have parents building. We have dads building sanitation stations. We have the school being prepped and cleaned. We have people. We actually have a team of people who are out there every time they see stuff on the shelves, because we can't buy stuff in bulk and things aren't, sanitation wipes, things of that nature, they're grabbing an extra one knowing that they're going to need it for that classroom. And even if it's one a week, if you could get 5 more sanitations per student, and we know it's not going to happen that way, but if you could get 5 more, Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes into those classrooms, the cleaner those environments are going to be. And I was talking to a mom yesterday, and she said she has like 100 of those things ready to go to donate to the school, and she actually is choosing, or at least this, she says it could change at any moment, just like everything else today. She says she plans on leaving her kids home, but yet she wants those classrooms clean for the kids and the parents who may not necessarily have the means to bring those supplies to school. And that is the definition of community. So I don't know jack about parenting. I don't know what your choice is going to be. But what I empower you to do is talk to other parents and let them bounce ideas and thoughts, because I know a number of thoughts that I hadn't thought of were bounced off me that helped influence our decision of the way we want to go. Just because there are circumstances that we hadn't thought of that give us literally more options. And I'll leave it at that. I am confident that you will make the best decision for your family in this unique time. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.